Ask any installer what he or she hates most about installing a fiber optic connector.
Epoxy. It's messy, slow, and time-consuming.
That's why AMP designed the Light Crimp connector, the fast, easy-to-use connector that requires no epoxy. It's field-proven over the last 10 years in millions of terminations worldwide. After epoxy, what do installers dislike the most?
Polishing. Don't like it. Never have, never will. You need a connector that doesn't need polishing.
Introducing the Light Crimp Plus connector from AMP. No epoxy and no polishing. That's the plus in Light Crimp. Just fast, easy, and high-performance terminations in as little as 1 minute. Fact is, the Light Crimp Plus connector is the fastest and easiest connector to terminate on the market. The Light Crimp Plus connector was designed with one important end in mind: to make the installer's job easier and more productive. That means savings in time and in money. The connector uses a small fiber stub installed at the factory. The ferrule is also machine polished and finished at the factory. This means that the termination procedure is essentially a mechanical splice of the cabled fiber to the stub in the connector. No epoxy, no polishing. What's more, there is no heat required for curing, no power source, no polishing materials, no consumables other than alcohol wipes. But as easy as the connector is to terminate, you still need to use the right procedures. We're going to show you how to apply the connector properly. The Light Crimp Plus connector is available in both ST and SC styles. For single mode and multi-mode cable, for jacketed fiber, 900 micron buffered fiber and 250 micron coated fiber. Before we get started, we want to remind you to follow safe procedures. First, cleanliness is critical. Keep your work area clean. Don't eat, drink, or smoke in the area. Safety glasses are recommended, especially if your work is overhead. Second, never look into the end of a fiber unless you're sure no equipment is active at the other end. Fibers energized by some lasers can harm your eyes. So use caution and never look into a fiber that might be energized. Finally, always dispose of fiber slivers properly by placing them in a container. You don't want slivers in your skin or in your eyes. Now we're ready to show you how to properly terminate a Light Crimp connector. Because the procedures differ somewhat depending on the cable and connector, we will demonstrate the procedures for different variations. However, the approaches are very similar and involve only minor differences. The ST connector kit contains the following parts: the connector assembly, which includes the ferrule, coupling nut, and mechanical splice mechanism, and front and rear dust covers. The bare buffer boot, which is needed only with unjacketed fiber. The strain relief boot, which is used to provide strain relief to jacketed cable. A brass inner eyelet to aid jacket retention. The crimp eyelet, which is used to secure the cable strength members to the connector assembly. And the 250 micron buildup tube, which is used to increase the diameter of a 250 micron buffer to 900 microns. The SC connector kit contains the following parts: the connector assembly, which includes the ferrule, inner connector body with mechanical splice mechanism, and front and rear dust covers. The outer connector housing. The bare buffer boot, which is needed only with unjacketed fiber. The strain relief boot, which is used to provide strain relief to jacketed cable. The crimp sleeve, which is used to secure the cable strength members to the connector assembly. The inner eyelet, to aid jacket retention. And the 250 micron buildup tube, which is used to increase the diameter of a 250 micron buffer to 900 microns. In addition, you need a few tools. A crimp tool with a die set for ST-style connectors and one for SC connectors, which can be identified by this protrusion. A stripping tool for cable jackets. A stripping tool for 900 micron buffer and 250 micron coating. Kevlar shears for trimming strength members. A cable holder, which is available in SC and ST style versions. One area is marked cable and is used as a gauge for measuring the jacket to the correct stripping dimensions. The other area is marked buffer and is used as a gauge to measure the correct stripping length for buffered fiber. And a cleave tool for cleaving the fiber. In addition, you will need a marker or pen for marking stripping dimensions, and alcohol wipes for cleaning the fiber. And don't forget the amp instruction sheets provided with the connectors and termination kits. If you're ever in doubt about some step in the termination procedure, check the instruction sheet. Okay, let's terminate. Terminating unjacketed fiber is actually simpler than terminating jacketed cable. There are fewer steps. We'll begin with buffered fiber and an ST-style connector. As with any termination, the first step is to strip the cable's outer jacket, buffer tubes, and subunit jackets as required for your application. Prepare the cables as required for the patch panels or outlets you are using. See the hardware installation instruction for guidance. Once you have the cable prepared, you can apply the connectors. Remove the front and rear dust covers. Save the front cover to protect the ferrule after the termination is completed. Place the connector into the holder with the ferrule facing outward. Slide the bare buffer boot over the fiber and out of the way. The thin end goes on first. Using the buffer area of the cable holder, place the fiber in the groove up to the stop. Mark the fiber at the 2 slots on the holder. Strip the coating or buffer up to the first mark. Be careful to remove all of the 250 micron coating. Strip the buffer in 3 or 4 passes, rather than one big strip that could break the fiber. Clean the bare fiber with an alcohol wipe. An oil and dirt-free fiber is essential to obtaining a proper cleave. Press down on the back of the cleave tool to open it. Slide the fiber into the groove until the end of the buffer or coating is at the 8 mm mark. Release the rear arm to lock the fiber in place. Hold the buffer area down firmly in the beaver tail groove to ensure the fiber is perpendicular to the cleave blade. Momentarily, press down on the front arm of the cleave tool so that the blade lightly scores the fiber. Do not press hard or mash the fiber. Release the arm before proceeding. Hold the fiber firmly and straight as you bend the tongue of the cleave tool. This will cleanly break the fiber at the scribe point. It is important that you do not bend the tongue more than 45 degrees, or damage to the tool will result. The fiber is held in the holder until it is discarded. Remember not to touch or contaminate the fiber before you insert it into the connector. If you are using 250 micron coated fiber, insert the white Hytrel tubing into the back of the connector body. Push it in until it bottoms. The white Hytrel tubing is used only when terminating 250 micron coated fibers. Insert the cable